tripping for real. Like usually, I was looking up the stats. They have like 700 to 800,000 people show up in 2019.
It looked like maybe 8,000 total.
Dude, I've never seen it like that before.
It was, my buddy went one of the first couple days, and he's like, I got there, and I was expecting a line. He goes, I walked right in. I go, how was the vaccination thing? Because I have friends that are like split down the middle. They're like half of them are and half of them are. And then like this one was, and he goes, I could have showed him a picture of a kangaroo that said vaccination over it, and it would have been fine.
Dude, they don't care. They just kind of whatever.
Like whatever.
But like the fact that they had to announce it, like killed all the attendance. All their whole target market is all like anti-vaxxers and stuff like that, and so nobody went.
It's the city of Milwaukee. Biker gangs and whatever.
Dude,
no one's
saying. Like it was like 8:30 with like 50 to 100 people in the crowd right before the headliner was about to go.
Which must suck, 'cause I know you've done it before, and you're like, and I've seen the videos. I was watching them like before you came. I'm like, dude, this looks unreal. Bro. And then I was thinking about, I'm like, I bet you it was nothing like this time.
It was nothing, bro. I felt like I wasted like all the preparation that we did. It was just like,
dude, your like promotion is amped up so much from I first met you.
Days.
Obviously, yeah. Which I think we should specify. You were my RA freshman year.
I know, right? That's
I
crazy.
couldn't have asked for a better fucking
Dude,
RA.
that's crazy.
I think when people think like, all right, who's gonna monitor us freshman year? It's gonna be some stick in the mud.
Of course.
Don't do a damn thing.
Everybody thinks that, and rightly so. Like,
oh yeah, I think most of them are, to be honest.
I feel like I was kind of a dominant dozen.
Oh yeah, I mean, you did it 2 years too, and I had some of my friends. You had the second year, and they're like, dude, best fucking RA I've ever had.
It's an easy job, man. All you gotta do is just make it make sense. Just make it make sense.
Oh my! It like just common sense goes out the fucking door when you have someone like, all right, you don't do this, you could lose your job. I'm like, I think the big problem is as long as they don't fuck up, as long as no one dies, which
oh my god, bro.
Oh, you know right away too. Dude, is that the craziest thing that's happened?
Yeah,
when you're doing
by
it?
Far.
Your first year doing it?
Yep. That was by far the craziest thing I had to deal with. And we dealt with it.
Did we though?
Like, hey, nobody died.
I mean, brief story, I guess. One kid had. How would you even describe it? Like a panic attack?
I don't know. They
you move this just like a little closer, just in. So that it's here. I'll just move the mic forward like this. You're fine. You can stay where you were at, just for my sake.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, they made it sound like he was choking on something, and then when he showed up, he was blue. I was like.
Yeah, well, they thought he swallowed his necklace.
Yeah, something like that.
But he had a full-on panic attack to start.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he locked himself in the room on accident, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was scary.
It was frightening.
It was scary in the moment, but, like, after it was all done, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we were
good.
Like...
We're valid.
Rightfully cracking jokes, or, like, just to get, like, using humor just to be like, what the fuck just happened? We're like, we're not going out tonight.
We were experiencing trauma and trying to cope with it with humor. And
but I remember walking out that door and hearing a bang and looking at his roommate and going, there's no way that's your room. And we tried getting in. We're like, dude, we had to push a bunk bed from the outside. And we're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I have no clue what was going on because, like, I just walked up. I think I was, like, getting food or something.
And we're like, hey, call the cops.
They were like, yo, he's choking. He's blue right now. I was like, hey, yo.
Whoa, I was just at Gordon's?
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, sprinted into action. Had to give him CPR, completely untrained.
Oh, yeah. Dude, when I think you looked at me like, go let them in because they're not going to have a key to get into the stairwell. It was, like, perfect timing. I opened that door and...
Like, action movie type shit.
I don't know how many paramedics were... It was like I wasn't even there. If I was like 1 second slower to get through the door, they would have been coming back to get me next for trampling over me.
Yep. Either that or they would have just rappelled in through the windows or something.
Yeah, they're just like, fuck this
shit. They moved in like a SWAT team. I was there, like the dispatch was like, all right, push on his chest like 10 times, and then breathe. And I was like, all right, bet, did that. And then paramedics come through. He came in like James Bond, keep going, move. threw me over to the side and just like gave him some type of like, I don't even know what it's called, but they just put something up to his nose.
Smelling salts, probably, yeah.
And just came back to life. I'm like, oh, wee.
Dude, I got back up there. There were cops up there that I'm like, did you guys come up with them? I thought it was just like the paramedics.
Dude,
like,
they were deep. It was like 5 or 6 of them at least.
Oh, it's nuts. And then, remember this part? It was like basically over. And I walk into my room for the first time. I go, no fucking way right now. I look at him like, come in my room. And you're like, it reeks of weed in here.
I was like, gee. I don't care.
Yeah, I know you don't care. I'm like, but I was like, this also isn't me.
Right.
Like,
I was like,
you
you
were
with me the whole time. You were with me the whole time. I don't know where this came from, but we can overlook this.
Well, I was more concerned. Like, the cops are like 2 doors down. Like, we're not going from saving a life to putting mine.
Yeah,
like,
for real, behind bars type.
Dude, that was nuts.
Yeah, it was.
That was early into freshman year too. That was not.
I don't remember quite. It was definitely cold outside.
It was first semester.
Probably like November-ish, early December maybe.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, man, being an RA was lit. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I bet. I mean, I know some other stuff.
Yeah, but like, you know, I feel like being an RA was a huge contributor to my success as a DJ.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You know, like that's how I landed my first residency at the club. Started DJing at Liquid, brought through all the freshmen, and I got my first.
Then you have fans for 4 years.
Yep, exactly. And they just renew. There's always a new freshman class.
They're like, yo, you got to check out. This is my RA. Mm-hmm. I did was that. I'm like, dude, you DJ'd, we had like, what, a formal for my fraternity? You did that. Like, we'll talk about, like, dude, that was so fucking fun. And now it reminds me of when you're doing, like, the prom performances. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that was, like, those look more insane than what we were doing, but holy shit.
Yeah, we got like we definitely leveled up. You know, I got like a whole team behind me and dancers and all type of stuff. And yeah, people don't really appreciate what a good DJ can do because people don't really know better.
I think a lot of people think you're just playing songs the whole time.
Exactly, and I don't know. I feel like people have never really seen a crazy DJ, especially one that does hip hop music, because like. There's a lot of electronic DJs and they're fun, but they're fun because they have a whole bunch of production and they have original music and stuff like that. But hip hop DJs,
half the crowds on enhancements too.
You know, yeah. And so it's like when you just go to a random bar or a club and the DJ's there, it's nothing. It's not crazy.
A performance. Yeah, it's like the most you see this. If they're playing the same music you're playing, it's just this, and you're like, oh, I like this song, but you turned it from experience. It's a performance. Like you actually, it's maybe not your song, but everyone's watching you the whole damn time.
Exactly. That's what we try to emphasize. We try to make it a performance so that you can give me and another DJ the exact same list of songs, and I'm gonna just play it different because it's more involved, more engaged.
I've seen it. I believe it. I believe it.
It's fun.
Dude, you have leveled up a lot. Like I see you all over my social media now. Even like. Not even because I follow you. You pop up on like my Explore page and stuff like that.
That's fire.
But I was thinking, I was like, dude, I remember carrying like old speakers with like cords coming out the back that we had to like twist in to whatever car, not this car that you're driving now.
Them boys from the 80s, dude.
Wherever you, like a house party you were going to go do.
Yep.
And now you're at Summerfest, which is, we were talking before, not great this year. But
not great this year, but all the other years were fantastic. And that's what I'm saying. Like I got Summerfest because I was DJing Liquid, and I got my residency at Liquid because I was an RA.
Yeah.
So just being an RA led to me being at Summerfest, which is crazy to me.
Did it help getting it? Like, was the RA because they could count on you just being in town? So.
Who, like Liquid?
Yeah, Liquid. So like, did it reduce expenses for them or anything like that?
Liquid was. Well, yeah, in a way, like they didn't have to pay for an out-of-town DJ.
Not diminishing talent at all, but like, is there other?
You know, when you get somebody from out of town, you have to usually pay for their hotel, transportation, if they have to fly in, all that type of stuff. So they prefer having
basically in-house
local talent, right? Local talent and it was my first residency. I'm a young DJ. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be making, how much revenue I'm generating for the club, because I was selling that bitch out consistently.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, lines. I worked at the bar next door.
Yep. And before I came through there, they went through a rebrand. They used to be called Segredos.
Yep.
They changed it. and they were having maybe like 50 to 100 people there.
And it was usually, if I'm being honest, I think it was like fraternity socials and stuff like that.
Yep. Like their big nights would be when they get rented out
parties,
by, exactly.
Which
on a regular club day, on a Saturday or Friday night, they get 50 to 100 people in there. Which
that's not good.
Not at all. No. Especially with a space like that, and you're a club and charging out the ass for drinks. And then I come through and bring through. Yeah,
it
that's
really
what I'm saying.
is.
Like the space is fire. The production is fire. Everything about it is dope. And they just weren't packing it out. And so I come through, I'm just like, yo, let me get one show here. Promise to God, if people don't show up, you never have to hear from me again. And 500 people came through the first time I'm there.
Yeah, like, I think I went to week. The first one.
Yeah. The whole floor did.
Yeah.
The whole dorm did.
So fun. I think I brought at least
that was welcome
20 people. Yeah. It was, dude, that was so fun.
Yeah, man. I was making PA announcements all through the dorms and hanging up flyers in the common rooms.
Our floor is the other one that doesn't have like inspirational quotes or like STD warnings. It's like, come see me perform.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, yo, we about to get lit at the club. It was so dope. And that's how it all started, you know?
It is cool. And dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, you were the first person I've had on here that I was like, even though I know you decently well, I was semi-nervous just because I've seen you do so. I'm like, I wonder if he's just coming and be like, I'm big time now. I'm like, I know you're not gonna do that. But I was like, what the fuck do I ask?
That's funny.
No, it's impressive, dude. It's so cool to see. I guess I never like had a prediction for what you were gonna be like, because I didn't know much about what DJs did. Like because I never seen someone perform like you as a DJ that I thought when you first said you were. Like when I met you, I moved in a week early with Ian.
Yep.
So all I did was watch you destroy Ian in 2K.
With Kyrie.
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 Kyrie. Looked at him and goes, I will beat you with one guy alone. And you did. I've never been more hyped for I don't even like video games that much. I'm like, I've never been more hyped for a game of basketball that's not real.
I put up 96 with Kyrie Irving, dude. That was crazy.
I bet you if I look far enough on my phone or my old computer, I could find the picture. I remember taking a picture. I'm like, there's no fucking way you just did this.
That was so funny.
And that man, Ian, was like so hyper competitive. He's like, this is
Play again.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Play again. And I put up like 95. Like,
we ain't doing this again.
It was crazy.
But I was saying, it's like, I've never seen someone perform like that. So in my head, I'm like, all right, DJ, I might see him at a fraternity, or at the time, I didn't do a fraternity until I was a sophomore, or a house party. And
you were super anti-frat.
Yeah. And it's now one of my favorite decisions I made, just because I learned you can make it what you want it to. With a lot of things in life, you have this outside perception of something.
Yeah,
from
you're like, dude, fuck fraternities, man. I'm not
like,
trying to do none of that shit. And then I watch you get into a fraternity. I was like,
I'm paying for my friends and shit like that. But I think a lot of things in life, you perceive something based off the loudest 10% of someone.
Yep.
So the worst 10% of the fraternity, if that's all you hear about is the nasty shit that goes on, you're like, fuck that shit. Mm-hmm. And then you actually meet a few good guys, like, we'd like to just hang out with you. I'm like, okay.
Just
and then feel it out. Like when I did the rushing before the pledging, the whole time I was like, I'm just gonna go to these events because I'm having fun, and some of my friends are there. I had no intention of joining it. And then I was at the one where they ask you to like pledge, and I was like, I gotta go. My roommates and I was like, we're gonna go see a movie or something like that. And one guy's like, you're not leaving. I'm like, it's just like, it's steak and cigar night. Why the fuck am I here? And then he just like, as a joke, he goes, you're not leaving. And then I was the last person they asked, just because he could. And then they took me to the basement, like, this is why you can't leave, you dumbass. I was like, okay. But yeah, it was fun. And then I met my favorite, like my best friends from college were from there, and like a few other like from work.
That's dope. Came full circle.
Yeah, it is.
Cause you're a stubborn guy. Like just by nature, you're very stubborn. So it's like you're not gonna do anything
unless I have some control.
Yeah, unless you decide.
Yeah,
nobody's gonna convince you and be like, bro, just join the frat. Come on, join the frat. You'd be like, no, I'm not doing it.
No, I will admit the reason I went to the first event was also on accident. You move in early, like, so when you can finally, you have your own place sophomore year, And you're like, I can move in early?
Yeah.
And you're like, so 2 weeks.
And I ain't got to leave.
And I gotta leave. 2 weeks. I can do whatever the fuck I want. We're just getting drunk. We're doing whatever, going to parties. And I got too drunk one night, and I like kind of realized where I was, and I was at a fraternity like rush party, and one of the kids on our floor goes, Kusky, I remember Stone.
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, I regret not hanging out with you. I'm like, where am I? And it was just come around, and then kids from my high school were in it. We're like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, as long as they were nice, but it was nice to actually realize, I'm like, there are actually some good things I could get out of this.
You know, it's like you can't always just listen to the stereotypes. Stereotypes are there for a reason. Yeah. But, you know, it's like it's not all true.
Yeah, it's like a little barrier you kind of got to break through.
Yeah, you know,
listen, some of that is a little true, some of it's not. I would say majority of them aren't. Again, it's just the loudest ones, loudest people. Yeah,
I mean that's how Twitter is, you know.
Dude, I don't even go on. I have a Twitter. I've done a solo episode on here. My Twitter is, I think it's just porn stars.
You a damn fool! Oh my god.
No. I mean, I follow 2 people. And it's because those 2 people followed for me. Because, like, you should, like, use Twitter. I'm like, I don't use Twitter. And so I follow a girl from my high school and her boyfriend. And now I just get recommend. Like, one will pop up while we're talking, I guarantee you. And it'll be, like, Saturday morning. And it's just ass or tits.
This man be on the hub for real.
Wait. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what are you 2 looking at that this is what I'm getting suggested for? And then I look at their tweets. They're all, like, political and shit. I'm like, this makes no fucking sense.
They got a secret OnlyFans.
Yeah. Jeez. Actually, the girl who was on, she goes, I sold my feet pics once. I'm like, stop admitting things. Like, this is going online.
We don't need to know everything about you. That's funny as hell.
Same girl got my, slogan for this show tattooed on her ankle.
Girls be making bank off of just feet. It's
Dumb
crazy, bro.
money.
It's crazy. Like, I know women right now that are making 6 figures just selling feet pics, selling their bodies on OnlyFans, just stuff like that. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, bro.
I think that says more about the people who's paying for that
than
absolutely. It does the girl. Like,
I mean, bro, if somebody's going to pay you thousands of dollars for feet,
what would it take you to, like, take pictures of your feet?
I don't care about my feet, bro. If you really want to see my feet and pay me $5,000, I will send you my feet.
I will gladly.
Like, what?
I will paint my toes. I don't give a fuck.
Hey,
$5,000.
I'll get a pedicure right beforehand. Just, you know, 5 G's. That's easy.
That's the easiest $5,000 you could make.
That's what I'm saying. You could either do
your
that.
Your face isn't in
if somebody, yeah, that's what I'm saying. No face, no case. Like,
the only time you got to avoid tattoos,
right? You know, like, think about a 9 to 5 and how long it's gonna take you to rack up $5,000, or you just,
for most people, that's over a month,
at least.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you're graduated and you're like in a big boy job, like, yeah, but then there's some people like just cashier down the street or something. How long does it take for them to make $5,000? Or you just send a feet pic.
Or someone's just like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
there are, like, I've heard that girl's like, she's gotten some weird requests. Like, that's where I start getting like, oh, that's like, if I would sell my feet, but at the same time, I feel like there'd be at one request where I'm just like,
yeah,
no. I was like, no.
OnlyFans is an abyss. Like, there's a girl I knew who had OnlyFans making $2,000 a day at least.
Damn.
And she would just tell me about all the stuff that
people ask for.
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's sick.
It's disgusting. It's like, I can imagine, like, can you send me this, that, and then you can fucking guess what you think it is. But dude, I've seen, like, I watch other comedians' podcasts, and there's, like, I don't know if you ever heard of a guy named Tom Segura.
Mm-hmm.
But he does, like,
he's funny as hell.
Gross. He's my favorite comedian of all time. But he does some gross shit, and I've seen he'll show videos of other people, and it's like this guy asking a girl's like, send me a pair of your underwear, but wear them for a week and don't shower. I'm like,
bruh.
No one even needed to see you show us that video.
Yeah, that's tough. That's real tough, and like, it just blows my mind that there's a demand for shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. After seeing that video, I'm surprised by, like, nothing at this point. If you can sell your feet for $5,000,
People are
imagine what you can
hazardously-
sell your ass for.
hazardously horny, bro. Like,
Oh my god.
And
How did we get here from talking about you starting your DJ career?
who knows, right? That's how conversations go.
Dude, speaking of hazardously horny, I can imagine you got a few people in the crowd that are a little nuts.
For sure. No, there was
You got any like crazy stories?
Just like 2 weeks ago, there was a girl that threw her bra on stage, and it had like in Sharpie, she was like, "Hey, daddy," wrote her number down. "Give me a call. I'm waiting for you tonight." And I was just like, "Yo."
Now, did you
That's
watch her
crazy.
wait this, or was this
No,
premeditated?
it was so she also made a TikTok and tagged me, and she spent 6 hours making this bra. She like custom made it, bedazzled it out with all types of sequins and stuff like that, and then wrote on it, painted on it, I should say. She painted on it, took it off, and then
might
threw it
wear
on.
off a little bit dancing
Yeah,
one of
that's
your
what I'm
shows.
saying. Yeah, it gets hot up in there. And she took her bra off, threw it on stage. One of my guys caught it, and it was a big bra. I'm not gonna lie.
So this was like a real premeditated thirst trap.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
you got that hanging somewhere? I would.
Nah, my manager has it.
Yeah.
I'm cuffed. So
Yeah.
I'm
I would have
good.
been like, this is like, if I was single, I'd be like, one, get the fuck away from me. Two,
My girl was literally like standing backstage when it happened. And she was like,
at that point, you got to be like, all right, kudos to the amount of effort you put into that.
"Yeah, you know."
But back
like,
the fuck up,
hey. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and we're going to hang this somewhere for the story.
dude, yeah, absolutely. Like, if my girl gets mad at me for that, she gets mad at me because I didn't do anything.
I feel like that's a sign you're doing well.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, I'm the breadwinner.
Hey, sex sells. Sex sells.
You know what I'm
If
saying?
if you're getting people throwing their underwear at you, you're doing something right.
Yep. I think the first time I got a bra thrown at me was 2016 New Year's Eve, going into 2017. Somebody threw their bra on stage, and that was the first time that ever happened to me. I was like, wow.
I feel like you got to have just like the biggest smile on your face.
Yeah, I was like, damn, I'm kind of the man. Like,
That's a big. You finish that show
You know what
and you're
I'm saying?
walking like you're like 2 inches taller.
Yeah. You know, just you can't tell me shit.
What do you think is your favorite performance you would Summerfest be your favorite one so far? Or do you have like a favorite type of venue you do?
I think it's always a tough question because I always go back and forth. I think just for the sheer amount of people, Summerfest was dope. Summerfest 2019 with A Boogie, that was, in my opinion, probably the best performance I've ever given in my life up to that point.
Yeah. It's also, I feel like you're completing a little bit of a dream being from Milwaukee.
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, like, I'd done Summerfest before. First time I did Summerfest was 2017. 2018, I didn't get booked for Summerfest. And so I decided to move to Milwaukee. I was like, all right, I'm going to just kill Milwaukee so hard till they booked me for 2019. And they booked me for 2019, and we went crazy. And that was kind of like the transition because up until that point, I just DJ'd by myself and got the crowd hyped by myself.
Yeah,
2019, that was when we did like costuming, lights. We did choreography. Like I had a whole team of people rehearsing, and that's when it started moving into like that next level. You know what I'm saying?
It looked like from watching your snaps or your Instagram story, it was like, all right, you're by yourself. I'm like, all right, his friends are like buying. It almost looked like, all right, your friends are buying into you now, which I was like, all right, seems like it's taking a little while, but. And then also I'm like,
Right.
I think he has a full-on fucking production team.
Yep.
Within a week, it felt like. I was like, holy shit. As now you have even just like what I call like social media posters that you'll put out that look like blown up. They'll be outside of like the club.
Yep.
I'm like, this is impressive. You're doing photo shoots and shit. I was like, this looks fun as hell.
It is, man. Like we got a whole army behind me right now. I'm like captain of the ship, and I got a whole bunch of people behind me, and it's so much fun.
You need that though, and it makes it more fun.
Yeah.
It's fun doing shit like this with other people or like-minded people.
100%, because like in the school environment, like at Madison, all the people I'm around, like, what are you gonna do after you graduate? Go off to this job, go off to that job, and internships and all that type of stuff. And then they would get to me, and when I started freshman year, I was gonna go through business school and then go to law school. That's what I was gonna do. By junior year, like I said, that's when I became the RA. That's when the transition happened. I started really taking DJing seriously. And by senior year, I'm like, I'm going to DJ. And when I would say that to people, they would just be like,
it's kind of how I felt with, like, I mean, I'm nowhere near as successful with you in terms of comedy stuff, but when I was in college, it took me till I graduated. I was like, every time someone asks that question, I'm like, I don't want to do anything I'm here for.
Yeah. At
all. And it was like me moving away to admit, I'm like, dude, you're just going to go talk for a living. Because you don't shut the fuck up. Right. So it's like, go do that, admit it. And then now it's finally like, you're saying like, oh, I'm going to DJ. The first couple people, I felt like, I don't know if it was for you, I'm like, I'm uncomfortable saying I do comedy. And now it's like, yeah, I fucking do this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
it's little transitions, but it's
exactly.
such a huge difference because then you're like admitting you're buying into yourself.
Yep. Confidence comes with experience, preparation, and once you do it long enough, it's just like, yeah, this is what I do.
It's second nature too now.
And this is what I want to do, you know?
Yeah, like, that's huge. It's huge.
I would rather get side-eyed because I'm doing something that I'm trying to do and really buying into than getting a high five because I'm doing something I hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the high five feels so ingenuine too. So ingenuine. Like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's just, I wake up every day and can just do what I want to do. And all the people that I have with me, I know for a fact they want to do this for real, just like I do. And I've juiced myself up so much to the point where now I can throw down the ladder and help people find their success too. And that's what feels the best for me, because it's like I'm watching people who I've trained and mentored, and they're growing into themselves and killing it. Like,
and it only amplifies you guys as a whole. I think that's the only thing I'm still struggling with, is finding other people that have similar interests. Because I think once you get a bigger group, you expand like your ideas and your possibilities of things you can do. You can only do so much. You can do a lot by yourself.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's so many hours in one day.
More people means you have more time to do other things.
Exactly.
So like the day I don't have to, when we're done with this, go edit it. Right. Oh my God, you have no idea.
I'm telling you
what that feeling is gonna be like when I go, all right, I'm done. Here you go. Someone else could do.
Cut it up way colder than you ever could.
Yeah,
in half the time.
Way better. Like I'm at the point now, I'm just, all right, more, and I'll be fine. But I'm like, someone's got to do this way better than me because I don't know dick about half that stuff.
Hey, but it's good though, because you know, like doing the things that I've done by myself showed me how to delegate. Right.
Yeah, you know what needs to be done outside. You know your strengths.
Exactly. I know where I need to be better. I know what I do well. And I know that if somebody doesn't pull through, I can just do it myself. Like if it came down to it, I could just do it.
True. It's going to take a little longer.
Yeah. But, you know, it's like this team that I had put together. Okay, so it's like I have 2 dancers, 1 photographer, 2 videographers, lighting, management, and 2 artists that make music.
You're sitting here in my garage talking to me right now.
Yeah. And then I have like 3 or 4 DJs that work under me. So, you know, it's a big group of us. It's probably like 10 to 15 of us total. And, you know, it just frees up so much time for me when I don't have to do everything by myself. But that team didn't get put together, you know, overnight. Like there have been pieces that have been moved in and moved out. You know, it's about chemistry. It's about work ethic.
You got to find the right pieces.
Yeah, you know, quality, all that stuff. So
does your brother still work with you a lot?
Yeah. He was in Ohio for a while. He went to school out there, but he's moving back now.
Yeah.
Actually, like next week.
Because I remember seeing him on stage with you a few times. I don't know if he was still performing with you or not.
It's his birthday today, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're gonna see this in like 2 weeks or a week, right. But like, happy birthday.
Yep.
What does it take to just start to finish, if you know you're booking, let's say not Summerfest, because that's like probably one of the biggest one you've done, right? Like a normal one, on average, what does it take to start to finish, put a set together, and like choreography, pictures, promo, all that stuff?
Yeah, so the Halloween show, for example.
Those costumes were sick.
Salute. I appreciate it. We have a weekly show that we do at the Miramar Theater in Milwaukee. It used to be once a month, but we turned it to weekly because, you know, the owner was really pushing for it. And I didn't want to do that because I'm thinking if I do this every week, it's going to get really hard for me personally to craft a fully choreographed show behind it every week.
Yeah.
Because there's other things
and it's different every week.
Yeah. So, like, new theme, new everything, right? And that's not the only show that I do. So I literally would not have the time to do that every week. But I knew I didn't want to do it every week, and I had DJs that were hungry and ready for it.
Yeah.
And so I just let them take the weeks in between, so I could still DJ once a month, maybe twice a month, and all the other weeks that we had to do shows, I passed off to them and let them get their headline shows off, sell it out, and now they had that on their resume.
That's unreal.
It's super dope.
What does it say on the like you're not performing that week? Does it have their name on the front, or does it say like produced by at least you or something like that?
Yeah, but it'll be like DJ Mando presents the theme and then the headliners and
cool.
Take photos. So like start to finish, we start with the concept, brainstorming. That usually just comes from conversation. Like it's funny, like my work day will be like, all right, come on over, let's just play 2K or play some Xbox or something. We playing games and then just bouncing ideas back and forth, just talking about it and just be like, yo, it'd be dope if we did this or that. So we come up with the concept, random day during the week. Once we get the concept, then we get the costumes. Once we get the costumes, then we get the photo shoot. So my guy Bossy, he's the team photographer. He has a photo studio. Just go to Bossy, get everybody up in there, take the photos, whoever's performing, whoever needs to be on the flyer. Get the photos done, give him a day or two, gets the flyers or the photos back to us. Then we take it to our graphic designer. Graphic designer takes a day or two, and then we got the poster. Once we got the poster, then we pass it off to Riley, who is lighting and management, co-management, I should say, because there's two. And then he takes them, puts them all up around campus. We do a social media push all the way leading up to the show. So that could be a week and a half to 2 weeks of push. In those 2 weeks, then...
So this isn't like a week-to-week thing. Like you have next month's show, basically you're planning it right now. Yeah, for sure. I was going to say, that's a lot to get done in a week.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, no. I'm like, we're running out of days here.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. So, like, I have December's show already planned and
ready to go, basically.
Yeah, we have the costumes. We just got to do the shoots and all that stuff. So, so once we have the whole concept, the costumes, we have the posters, we put it up, everybody knows about the show. Meanwhile, while all of that is happening, me and my two choreographers, we get together and start choreographing the set. I'll be like, all right, you know, like late at night by myself, I'll go through all my music and be like, all right, this song, look for some new stuff. And then I'll bring it to them. This is what we're going to do. Play it, take them through like the entire progression from start to finish. And then they figure what they're going to do with the dance moves. And how we're going to come out is the most important. The first impression, the intro. Always got to make a big deal out of that, big show out of it. And then how we're going to end it. And then we fill everything else from there.
Damn. So. And on top of that, you were also the DJ for the Badgers.
Yep. Do basketball, men's and women's basketball,
is that every
and
game?
Football.
Basketball
every
and
home
football?
game. Yep, every home game.
Damn. How many games are there for like a basketball season?
It's a lot. And I'm about to get picked up by the Bucks too. So.
Fuck yeah. Dude, I still have yet to go to a Bucks game. Like, I watched our entire run in Milwaukee.
You didn't go to the Deer District?
I went to the Deer District,
okay,
but I never. I've been in the stadium. I've been in the the
Theater District
stadium
was crazy.
once for a comedy show, and
Nice.
then other than that, I'm like, I'm just gonna watch. There's no way I'm getting inside. Tickets like way too much for. I'm like, I don't even know if we're gonna make it that far though. I was like sold out. Game 7, where were you? I mean, you got it tattooed on your wrist.
Yep,
Man.
yep. I got the nice little Bucks and 6 tat right there. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like, the fact that we won in the finals in 6 games is just insane.
It's so
Insane.
surreal. Like, I still don't believe it.
Insane, dude. Like it's literally a movie story. Like the way it works out. Bucks and 6, and we won in 6
to literally
at home
too.
No superstars. Like Giannis and Chris Middleton were ranked like the worst in 2K in like 2015.
I
love
love seeing those comparisons.
Yeah, and then
Andy puts up 50.
That's what I'm saying. And they glowed it up to that point, to where they bring back the chip.
I love that we lost the first 2 too. It wasn't like, oh, we could, whatever. It's like, if we're gonna win, we have to do it in basically 6. Yeah.
If we didn't win, the coach was getting fired for sure.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was on his ass. Like when we were playing Brooklyn and them, they're like, bruh, this coach gotta go.
It was the most stressful run. I'm like, can we just like,
swear to God,
why are we gotta like win 2, lose the next 3? I'm like, what is going on? Every game.
It was
like,
something.
I felt like we had no cushion ever.
It was a battle every single game, dude.
It was impressive
And
as hell.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, when you watch like the Warriors 73-9 or something like that, and then they pick up KD and then they win the championship that season,
It's
it's
no
like,
fun.
of course,
Yeah.
you should win. You're supposed to win, you know? And being a Golden State fan at that time, it's like, yeah, nobody can beat us.
It's yours
And
to
if you
lose.
and if you lose, you're mad.
Exactly.
But when you're the Bucks and you've never,
I mean, we're not supposed to win.
as long as we've been alive, we've never been to the finals.
No. I never thought we would.
Of course not.
I didn't
And
know
so
what
it's
it would
like,
take. Because especially, like, people said once we signed Giannis to the Supermax, we're like, you're going to get no one here. And we're like, okay, but
but it's a Giannis.
But it's Giannis. But we're all, some people were like in the background, like, is
we
he
have
gonna
a
take,
Giannis.
Yeah, I was like, is he gonna take us to the finals? That motherfucker won us the finals.
He won us the finals, bro. And he still got like 2 or 3 years at least, something like that.
Yeah, he's got a few. I think he just
but
came out
like-
with a quote saying his next challenge might not be here.
I know, right? I
Don't
was
say
like-
that shit. Shut up.
But like, you know, when you're a Bucks fan and you're watching Game 7 against KD, and we have 2 chances to seal the deal with the buzzer beater and not go to overtime, and we airball twice, and then KD has the ball, and you see him do that turnaround step back 3-point shot, and he makes it. You're like, this is Bucks.
Saved by the
this
toe.
is
Yeah.
Bucks basketball, bro. Of course.
So close.
So
like,
close,
so
and then we
much
just
hope.
lose. We're just gonna lose. Like when they made that shot, bro, everybody got quiet. We're like,
Oh, I mean, before that, I forgot what bar I was at down here, and I was
nail
like,
biter, bro.
dude, it was nuts. I mean, the aftermath of that game, like me and my 2 other friends, where we ended up is a different story. But I'm like, oh my god,
Dude, and yeah, I was at the Deer District for all of them games, bro. It was
I was
insane. It was insane.
all the weekend games. I was down during the week. I was like, I gotta get stuff done. Well, I was either editing shit like this, or I'm like, all right, as long as it's not, if any elimination game, I was down there, or the weekend.
Dude, it was just.
It made me more of a basketball fan than I even was. I was
Yeah,
like,
like-
I didn't give a shit about any other sport or anything, any football, because I'm more football than basketball. But at the time, I was like, I don't give a fuck what the Packers are doing right now. I want to watch basketball. I was watching other games, and I was like, I don't do this.
Yeah, man. And once we beat the Nets, it's like we're going to the finals.
We all said the same thing.
We're
We're
going to
like,
the finals.
there's no way we lose to the Hawks. Way too close.
That's what I'm saying. We pull up to Atlanta and get smoked. I'm like, dude, what is going on? We just beat KD.
KD, Kyrie,
And James Harden. I'm like, come on, man.
And we're losing to Trae Young. That's it.
And just him.
Yeah. Dude, he
But
was
we did it.
working us. Working us.
Nuts, bro. Going absolutely nuts. But yeah, you know, it was a blast being a part of that. And I was DJing with the Bucks during that season. And this season I told him I didn't want to DJ for him just because I didn't like the way it was set up. Because like for the Badgers, I DJ for the whole arena, right? So
Yeah.
if
Dude, where are you set up, by the way? Because
in the
I
student
was
section.
okay.
Yeah,
I
getting
think
lit.
that's what I thought because I went to the Army game, and
yeah,
I was like, do you guys? I was with my buddy Pape. I was like, you remember Mando? And he goes, yeah. And I go, he's a DJ for all this now. And I'm like, do you see him? And I'm like, I think that's a DJ booth in the student section. He goes, there's no way they have it in the student section. I'm like, I think that's
section.
him.
Yep, 100%. I was in that student section, deep. People come up to me like all throughout the game, drunk as hell. Can you play Buttercup? It's like 5 minutes into the first quarter. I'm like, gee, no, I can't. Not right now.
You have like a. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. Fireflies.
Yep.
So cool. Like that it was never done while I was there, and I
Dude.
started seeing phones go. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Was that your idea?
Yeah.
I thought, I was like, did some weird guy in the student section start this? And then I was like, there's no way someone got that together.
Yeah, so like the shows that we were doing in Milwaukee. Yeah, I know, right? We went viral and all of that.
Yeah, I was doing like, this
it wasn't
is
even my
sick.
video though. Like nobody tagged me, nobody knew it was me. Like the people recording the video, like if they would have tagged me in that, it got viewed like over 50 million times.
Yeah, it was
easily.
insane.
Like,
it was insane.
yeah,
Well, I'll find it and we'll tag you in
yeah,
it again.
yeah. I would appreciate that, you know. But
Well, I'm gonna promote the shit out of this one. This one be good.
yeah, it's a good time for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like we did something called the vibe check at our Milwaukee shows where I just play like basically just a bunch of white people music.
That's fair.
Yeah, but it's like the classics. Like you can't help but enjoy it just because they're classics.
Sing-alongs, kind of shit
Yep,
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like Fireflies, We Are Young, anything by Kesha, Kelly Clarkson, High School Musical, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like
All
classics.
really white people music.
Yeah, exactly. Like it'd be funny as hell, bro. Like my crowd is super mixed. So like I got people in the VIP throwing money. I got people with grills on. I got white girls in college and frat boys in the crowd. We got Latinos, like literally any type of person you could imagine, they're in that crowd.
It's gotta be a fun crowd.
All singing.
Yeah.
You know, like people with their
To
grills
like get
on,
your head in the game by Zac Efron.
We are young. Just funny as hell, man. It's so much fun. That's what I love about music and,
yeah.
And you know, I got something for everybody. I could play Latin music, I could play hip hop, I can play pop music, I can get in my electronic bag, I can do whatever, and everybody will have a good time.
What's your favorite to do?
I mean, I'm a hip hop guy, so like, just as a hip hop fan, playing hip hop music is the best. But I think a music genre that's very underrated is 70s and 80s disco and 90s and 2000s R&B. So like when I can get in that bag, it's always fun.
Your music
Always fun.
knowledge and just like your library in your head is got to be huge.
Yep.
Like huge. I feel like, do you ever not think about music?
Nah, I mean like it's funny because you know music is my job, but at the same time it's just such a big part of my life. Because again, like when you're self-employed and an entrepreneur, pretty much every waking moment is spent on your business and on what you do. So yeah, it never stops. And if I'm not thinking about music, I'm thinking about how I can get people into the show where I'm going to be playing the music. You know what I'm saying? Like every aspect of it.
Your life is the business.
Yeah. I'm always just sitting down thinking. Like that's on a day-to-day basis.
You take any free time ever?
Yeah, I mean like
I know some people like designate days are like Sundays. Or
right. Like people have to kind of vacation because they go at a nonstop pace.
It's necessary for people.
Right. But for me, on a day-to-day basis, it kind of feels like a vacation. Like I could wake up at 7 a.m. or I could just wake up at 12 if I want to.
You ever feel like your performance is a vacation?
Yeah, I mean, there's it'd be both ways sometimes. Like there's some days where I'm just so tired and I don't even want to perform.
Yeah.
But once I actually start performing, it's like
that energy just fills you up.
It's contagious. It's a blast, and I get reminded why I'm doing this in the first place. And then there's other days where if I'm irritated or mad, I just need to unwind. I just step on that stage and just let it all go.
Oh, I can imagine that's an aggressive one. I think that's when you jump your highest.
Yep. That's what I'm saying.
That's kind of like when I like perform or whatever. If I do even like 5 minutes open mic, it's just I could be nervous beforehand, or I'm like because all week I'm thinking about how can I make someone else laugh, and then I stress about it a lot. I'm like, this isn't gonna be good, and then finally you just say something like, "Fuck it, dude, I had so much fun with it." Even if it's 5 minutes, it'll feel like 30 seconds. I'm like, that is very relaxing. And then right afterwards, you have that high, and it's like, all right, that's just even those 10 minutes. You're like, that was fun. I'm like, that's good enough. Yeah. Like that's worth a week's worth of preparation.
And now is the time to do it. Like, you know, you look at like the progression of Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart could say whatever the hell he wanted when he was first starting out, and now he's built himself up to this huge platform. And if you watch his comedy specials, it just doesn't hit the same as when he first started out.
He's trying to prove himself in the beginning. I think you can tell with comics when they get a certain. By no means am I ripping on Kevin Hart right now, but nor is he ever gonna watch this. But if you do, what's up? Yeah. But like when people in anything get complacent, your work goes down. If you're constantly like, hey, it's gotta be better, that's when the specials go. But I agree. I actually think comedy is gonna boom here soon, because I think people are starting to get sick of how sensitive everyone is.
I agree.
Which I kind of like. I don't like how sensitive everyone is, and so I'm not like the cleanest person when I'm up there.
Yeah, you know, it's like a fine line. Like, there's things that people say where it's like people will be like, yo, you just can't say that. Like, you just can't say that. It's like, I get it. And then there's other times where you just say something that's funny, or somebody does something and Twitter just takes it and runs with it, and they try and just cancel somebody. I'm like,
we're canceling too many people, and I think people
just
have to realize
shit
it's
too,
the
like,
dumbest stuff, the dumbest things. We're not allowing people to either like grow as humans too. It's like everyone. I mean, half the people that are canceling people. If we also did a deep dive,
not half.
More.
Everyone's got something. Everybody has done something in their life. Just being dumb as a kid or being uneducated as an adult.
It's part of the learning process.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes you just need people to yell at you to learn.
There's
nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. There's big fuck ups, but then there's like some, it's like, dude, also people like take a joke for something. 'Cause not everything is serious, especially with comics. Now, I'm trying to figure out what most people get canceled for. It's usually actions. Like, a lot of the words, some of them don't say, but I'm like, fucking relax.
Right, man. And it's like, you know, I watch people dig things up from 10 years ago, and it's like a big scandal. Depending on what it is, you know, it's a case to case, right? Like I said, everything's kind of a case to case. You kind of have to take it off for a grain of salt. But, you know, if somebody did something 10 years ago and they're not doing that now, it's like, what's the issue?
There are people I've seen get canceled. Like, let's say someone, this is just an example, but you find a tweet of someone that just said literally the word gay and be like, we'll cancel you because you're homophobic. But they could be like openly against all of it now. Like, no, you did this 10 years ago. You're a terrible human being. Like, that's not how this works.
You're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Like, you're a hypocrite. How are you saying this 10 years ago and you're doing all this now? Hypocrite, empty action. None of it matters. You're trying to compensate, like all that, right?
Well, the people canceling are hypocrites because you're like, I want everything to be better. So we're trying to get rid of these people. Like, you're literally getting rid of someone who got better, like is more inclusive. I'm like, do you guys understand what you're doing? It's very frustrating to see.
And it's a privilege to not be a celebrity. Because second you become a celebrity, everyone's
out for it. Once you're on the top, it's harder. My buddy had a great quote on here. He goes, it's harder to be at the top than climb.
100%.
Instead of if you're climbing, you're aiming for one person. You're at the top, you have everyone aiming for you.
Yep. Everybody wants your spot.
Dude, that might lead in perfectly to this because we might be hitting an hour here, and I don't need you freezing in this garage. Oh, we got 10 minutes.
I'm chilling.
I'm actually pretty good right now.
I'm chilling.
Yesterday, it was like 20 degrees in here.
We're Wisconsin babies, man. Cold ain't nothing. It's not even bad.
No, this isn't bad at all. So did you go to Marquette for high school or?
I did for the first 2.5 years, and I transferred to Pius.
Transferred to Pius. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember a kid named Peter O'Klubja? Okay. I had him on yesterday, and I was telling him, he's like, how many people do you interview a week? I said, usually it's like 1, sometimes 2. Like this week I had 2. And I'm like, do you know who DJay Mando is? He goes, yeah, he went to Marquette with me for a bit. And they go, I have no idea what happened to him after 2.5 years. I'm like, well, I'll ask him
He was
for
in
you.
my grade?
No, he's mine.
Okay.
So I think...
Probably like a year or 2 younger then?
Yeah. So I think during that half year you were there, I think is when he knew who you were. He's like... And he listed... I don't know all of, like, your friends you're with now, but I think he sees you with, and he listed off a bunch of names. I'm like, I'm not going to remember those names, but, like... I was like, I'll see if he remembers you, but I'm like, I doubt 2.5
I recognize
years.
Faces. I'm better with faces.
Yeah, I'll pull him up when we're done with this. But I was like, wow, small world. I did not think I would, you would know someone I've had on here. It has been kind of cool seeing people like who want to come on here now. Like when I first started, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And now it's like,
it's lit.
Can I do it? I'm like, it's fun.
You came up on my For You page on TikTok, and I was like, no way.
Dude, that's
lit.
First video I had that did real well. Instantly. I got a bunch of texts from people that are like, why are you on my For You page? I'm like, clearly. I was like,
I'm Michael Gusky, bro. What are you talking about?
I was like, well, I mean, if you just look at the rest of the account instead of just sending it to me because you saw my face for 2 seconds, you'd figure out what I'm doing.
Yeah, man.
But it was kind of, that was like, it's amazing with one video, like you said, like just getting people freshman year or my freshman year to come to your shows, like the difference that made. The difference a 1-minute video I had made in terms of like people who follow me and like taking this seriously is insane. Man.
TikTok will show everybody everything. Gee, it's crazy.
I hate it though. I fucking hate it.
I don't. I gotta admit, I don't put too much effort into it. Like all I really do is take raw clips from my shows and upload it, and if it does numbers, it does numbers. But I don't like sit down and craft TikTok concepts or
I'm also
dances
not doing
and
any
stuff
dances or whatever. I mean, I am way too white to be doing some of the dances that are on there. I would look stiff.
The way
as
y'all be
hell.
dancing is so funny, bro. Like that's
they're aggressive as hell. There's one guy on there who does like I hate that when I was so against it when I started this. I'm like, I don't want another thing that I might just scroll on and waste time for me.
But
I was like looking
hits,
but I was like, you gotta play the game. So
yeah.
all right. And now I've seen this guy when you're like the dances, he'll just over exaggerate.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
so fucking
That's
funny.
what I'm saying, like,
there are some very creative people on there, but I think 90% of that app is just creative plagiarism.
Probably.
I also put no effort into it either. Like I will take the clips, like you'll get all the clips I'll send to you here, and then I'll just crop them so they fit. And that's the most effort I have.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's all it takes. Like I don't know. Like if I wanted to, I could sit down and come up with concepts and shoot them. But being a TikToker is tough.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, like if it's not just genuine energy in the moment, just being funny or just doing some wild shit, like just capturing the right moment at the right time.
That's tough.
Crafting a TikTok and making something that's funny, crafting content is difficult.
Is so hard.
And the way people be shooting the transitions and all that stuff, and like
some of them I'm looking, I'm like, how the fuck did you do that? Like I've fucked around on that app, and I'm like, all right, how would I even add? So I'm like, I learned the other day that you could do like voice text, and there's people doing like it's like fading in and out. They're doing this with their hair, and I'm like, you got time for
the
all
high
that?
schoolers will just craft their
it's all they're doing at lunch. It's
mini videographers. Like it's crazy.
It's impressive. Crazy. However, it's very saturated too. I'm like, I've seen like the amount of time, like I was going over your stuff before you got here, and for a while it's just like scrolling after I set up. I'm like, the amount of times I've seen the video of people throwing pens into a fucking cup now. I'm like, can we just stop?
Yeah. Once something goes viral, they just take it and run.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is people do just the dumbest things for views.
I think my least favorite brand of TikTok is relationship pranks.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Well, they're also, a lot of them are so staged.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just so.
How many times you try and do this?
What do you mean you fucked somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Or that, or I hate the whole, like, people be like, check my music or watch to the end or, like, big explosion at the end. It's like a 5-minute video. I'm like, scroll, no explosion. I'm like, this is dumb. Yeah, right, dude. That's the other thing, too, is, like, sometimes I'll post something like, I don't know how someone did not watch this, but then I'll go on it and I'm like, fuck this shit. Fuck. I'm like, someone with a microphone? No way. Yeah. I don't want to listen to this guy's opinion.
Yeah, man. I think TikTok is definitely stunting attention spans.
You think? Bro, oh, my God.
I'd be so mad anytime there's a 5-second YouTube ad that I can't skip. It's like, bro, please.
It's the longest 5 seconds of your life.
Yeah, man. Like, or God forbid it's a 15-second one.
Or how about the, like, hey, add 1 of 2. You can't skip the first. You got, and then it's a 5-second one on the second one. What is this bullshit?
Yeah, come on, man. Like,
it's really stunting it.
Corporate America, bro.
I hate it because then, like, when you think you got a fun story, you're like, I just want you to, like, listen to anything. I promise it gets better after 6 seconds. But like, I'll look at some analytics. I hate looking at numbers and stuff. Like, I genuinely, like, I can proudly say I do this because I enjoy it, and I'm not looking for, like, I mean, obviously I want people to watch it. But it's not just like I need attention. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I look at analytics. I'm like, well, this one was watched for an average of 4 seconds on like a 1-minute video. I'm right. Like, what? Why am I putting in effort to this?
Yeah. You know, the data can get daunting, for sure.
Yeah, I've really hardly look at it.
My big platform that I focus on is Instagram.
Yeah.
Just because that's pretty much like my resume.
Yeah.
You know, so with Instagram, the only analytics I really pay attention to is, you know, likes, shares, and follows. So what's getting people following? And every time, you know, I have milestones that I'm trying to hit, and I watch, like, as I do shows, it just gets closer and closer and closer. And then when I'm not doing shows,
it's down, yeah. Because, like, there's no anticipation for anything.
Yeah. I lost damn near 2,000 followers in the pandemic because I couldn't do any shows.
Couldn't perform.
I didn't have anything to post. And I was just like, that was probably the closest I felt to just, like, a regular person in recent time, to where, like, I'm not DJing.
Yeah.
I'm not like doing what I enjoy. I'm just kind of existing.
Yeah.
And
well, that's what this came out of. Because I'm like, if I can't go anywhere and do anything, I can at least bring, like, people I know and just put something out.
Yeah. You know, like, it's important. But yeah, it was difficult being in that pandemic, boy, because there was nothing to do. Everything I do is live shows, and I couldn't do any live shows. But it forced me to think, innovate, and decide what I'm going to do next, and prepare for post-pandemic life. You know?
I think the pandemic, in terms of creators for anything, whether it's music, comedy, videos, or something like that, anything like that, half the people this crippled and demolished completely. The other half took it as, like, okay, they either a grind time and something good came out of it, and they're prepared. Like, if something like this ever happens again, I know they have a blueprint now. Mm-hmm. Their blueprint is success, instead of people who, like, pandemic's over and they crippled and they're rebuilding. It happens again, their blueprint is failure again. Yeah. They don't know what to do.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I watched so many DJs, like club DJs, they make money every day in cash at the club.
Yeah.
DJ Sunday to Sunday at the club, different club in the city. And when you're DJing every day, you're not really thinking long term. You're thinking, what's happening today? I'll promote that today.
Yeah.
And then, you know, go
and then
from
when
there.
Today can't happen.
Right. And pandemic, the way it hit us, happened overnight. Like, it was just one random week in March, everything shut
Nothing. Dude, I used to watch videos of comics. They were about to perform. Like, there's one, like, buddy, my comic I really like, Nate Bargatze. He got a phone call 30 minutes before he's supposed to go on. They're like, go home. He's like, I'm in a different state. I don't just go home. He goes, you might perform in 3 weeks. He's like, what?
Crazy, dude.
It's nuts.
Yeah, I was supposed to perform with Roddy Ricch at the rave, and that shit got canceled.
That sucks. Who did you open for Summerfest this year? Was it Nelly?
Yeah.
Did you meet him?
Briefly. I walked past him. Yeah, he's short and buff as hell.
I knew he was short. I didn't think he'd be like that. Like me short almost?
I don't know.
You're also pretty tall. So.
Yeah, I'm a tall guy. I don't know. He's probably like 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah, he's my height.
Something like that.
Yeah. All right, we'll end it with this because we're at an hour. Well, by the way, I'm glad you got out of the pandemic. That's great. And you're doing so fucking well. So, before I ask the final question, it's like a semi-serious question. Do you have anything coming up you want to tell anyone about?
December 9th, we have our Christmas show that we're doing at the Miramar Theater in Milwaukee. That's going to be lit. But other than that, we're just focused on New Year's and next summer.
Do you know where New Year's is going to be? Is it kind of like a surprise still?
Yeah, we're still getting it worked out. It should also be at the Miramar Theater, but we're just figuring some things out first. But yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I gotta come to one of these soon.
Yeah, for sure.
I do.
Sure.
I think I might try for the December 9th one.
Say less. I'll put you on the list. It'll be easy.
Oh, I would fucking love that. It'd be so fun. I haven't been to one of those in forever. Okay, final question. I think you'll be able to answer this pretty easily. But each season I ask someone like a ending question, just to kind of go from. Usually we'll like drink or whatever, and I was like just telling stupid stories and bring it back down to earth. But this season, it's what is something you live by? So like, have you ever watched a video or came across a quote, a book, anything, or just like a mantra your parents used to tell you that kind of just like leads your life? Something that's in the back of your head.
What's always worked for me is focus. And by focusing, I mean like manifesting. You have to know what you want to attain it. So throughout my whole career, I was like, all right, I want to DJ at least once a week. After I became an RA, that happened. Now it was like, all right, I want to get Summerfest. After killing Liquid every week for a year straight, I got Summerfest. And then I didn't get Summerfest the next year. I'm like, all right, I'm going to kill Milwaukee. So I moved from Madison to Milwaukee, killed Milwaukee, and then got back on Summerfest. So it's like every stage in my career, I've always known what I wanted, put that thought out there, focused on it every day. And when you have that long-term goal kind of trickles down and focuses on your short-term goals and what you need to accomplish on a day-to-day basis so that a year from now, 5 years from now, you're where you want to be.
So would you say, like for someone trying to like figure out focus, would you say pick a long-term goal and then let that determine what the short-term ones are, or do you pick something short and see where that goes?
It depends. Some people know exactly what they want to do. They just don't know how to get there. Other people don't know what they want to do, and so they just have to do things to get there.
So for someone who doesn't know,
so if you don't know what you want to do, or you're just trying to figure things out, you kind of just have to experiment, find what it is that you love. That's the most important part, because you could just go clock in and not have to think about that stuff and live a perfectly happy life if you just care about making money and then just spending money doing whatever. Mm-hmm. But if you're trying to do something like what you're doing or what I'm doing, where it's like nobody tells me what to do. Yeah. I'm the one who decides what's going to happen. I'm the one making this work. Then you kind of just have to find what you're passionate about. And there's nothing too dumb to not make money. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people
are selling their feet online, guys.
For $5,000. You know what I'm saying? And if you would have told somebody in 95, I'm going to be a full-time video gamer, they're like, you are drunk.
Fucking crazy.
You're stupid. You're just like
16-year-olds make $1 million.
Yeah, you're going to be 27, 37 in your mom's basement playing video games. Yeah. If you're saying that to somebody in the 90s. But now, You got professional video game teams.
Yeah.
You got people that are streaming on Twitch for millions of viewers, getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions, per year off of endorsements and just streamer
donations. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can play video games for a living. You can sell your feet. You can be a DJ. You can be a comic. You can. I see like welders on TikTok getting clout just because they weld something that looks cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have the internet, so you can
use it.
You can do whatever you want as long as you know what you want to do and do it at a high level. And all you got to do that is just do it. You know, like, you just have to put in the time.
The only add to that is it's just, for me, discipline. So you find your passion. You could have your passion, but if you're not disciplined about like working towards that goal, it ain't gonna happen.
Exactly.
If it's your passion to be a chef, but you cook once a week, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, you're not gonna be a chef.
That, and also showcase your personality. I mean, right now, like, that's the big thing. Like, the welder, like, he could be the greatest welder in the world, but if this man sounds like this, does this, so that, no one's gonna fucking watch it. Be you. Yeah. Have your personality, and you know what? Enough people are gonna like it. Not everyone's gonna like it, but who cares?
You'll find your target.
Yeah.
And you'll reach them. It'll find itself, and that's what I mean, man. Like, just know what you want, focus on it, work towards it every day. And it's not going to be a quick process either. No. Like, I've been in this since 2016, so 5 years now.
Yeah.
And 2016 me would have been so geeked at being on Summerfest for the first time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that was my dream since I was 16. I'm like, bruh.
How cool would it be?
Like, I can do this. I'm watching this person on stage, like, I could do this. And I can do it better than that person. I know for a fact. But I did that, and now it's like, all right, what's next? You know? So you just have to keep on evolving, keep pushing, and just work towards it every day. And by the time I'm 40, I'm going to look back and be like, damn, I did all that. Like, what's next?
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
Look, I mean, be happy with, like, the process for me, like, going up. Because one day I talked about it with Peter yesterday. It's like, as much as I want, like, a different studio or more cameras, better lighting, it's like one day I'm gonna look back like some of your favorite memories aren't gonna be that like top one. It's gonna be like, do you remember when we were just like playing 2K and we came up with the idea for the Summerfest show? Like, that was so fun.
Exactly.
Or like, dude, I remember like we got drunk one night, we just talked, and all of a sudden 1 million people watched your story about getting arrested, Sam.
Right?
Like, dude, that's
that's crazy. And you know, people still come up to me to this day. They're like, yo, you guys performed with A Boogie or 21 Savage or whoever it was. And they'd be like, bro, that show was crazy. That show was crazy. And it was like, bro, that show happened like 2-3 years ago. And you're still thinking about it.
But
like
the
fire.
impact you have. You know,
exactly. Like, that's power. That's impact. There's an impact on these people's lives to where they're going to remember that shit for the rest of their life.
It's such a cool feeling. I had the first time I was recognized from like the TikTok and stuff like that. Like, I was in Minnesota. He goes, dude, you're the comedian with the podcast. I'm like,
TikTok guy, right?
Dude, the first time it happened, I was literally like, what are you talking about? He goes,
like, no, you
podcast. And then he recited the name of the show. I go, fuck, that is me. And I was like, oh, damn. I was like, I'm actually reaching people. Like, cool.
Yeah, man.
All right, I'll let you get out of here. We're over an hour. Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I think I gotta come to this December 9th show. I think we can't be strangers this long anymore.
Yeah, I know, right? I got you, bro. Have you heard of the new? There's a spot that opened in Brookfield. It's like actually a
the Improv. Yeah. I would be there this Thursday, but I'm going up north for hunting this weekend. So
true.
Other than that, I'll let you know next time I'm there and when I'm around Milwaukee, because sooner or later it's gonna be every day. I'll just be around doing open mics and
let's get it.
We'll have you come to one.
I'm gonna be out there heckling.
All right, sounds good.
Just make an example out of me.